Yo, welcome back to another tutorial, guys, and in this one we're trying to achieve a really nice fade to our image, creating a really nice contrast throughout the image, a fade in the shadows and a fade to those whites. So I'll get over and I'll show you guys his Instagram, and we're going to be talking quite a bit about the tone curve in this one, the red, green and blue channel, how to use them, how to shift colors and create the contrast we want. So we're going to be working with this shot right here, and yeah, as you can see, there's a beautiful amount of contrast in the image. This image was shot on a 6D with the Canon 50mm 1.4, and the settings were 50mm obviously, 1.4 aperture, an ISO of 640, and a shutter speed of 2000. What I would have maybe done with those settings would lower the shutter speed, and then that would bring more light in, and then maybe lower the ISO, but maybe he likes the amount of noise or texture ISO 600 gives him. But so we're working with this one, he sent it in to me. So he's got really nice tones. There's quite a bit of vibrance to them, and if you guys really like this style, you can go get his presets as well. So if you come up here, click here, come over to presets, and as you can see, you can click here and purchase his presets. Work on mobile as well. Come over here, check them out, guys, see if you like them. So there'll be a complete set of them, I believe, and yeah, I think it's a really awesome style, a low amount of contrast, and it's really natural looking. I really like it. So back to his Instagram, we are going to be trying to recreate something like this, and yeah, let's get into it. Here's the raw image that he sent me, and then the faded one, a screenshot from his Instagram. So over here you can see we are far too cold, so let's warm it up quite a bit, and that will get us a lot closer to where we want to be, because before you could tell just by looking at the whites and just pretty much the entire image, we're too cold, too blue. That will get us a bit closer, it's a bit more white balanced. Let's drop the contrast. Let's up the shadows, because we want a reasonably bright, warm image. Shadows will really do that for us. Drop the blacks to keep a bit of contrast there, because if you brought up the shadows and blacks, you'd get quite a washed out looking image. We don't want it to look too washed out, but we still want that bright feeling that bringing up the shadows does. Let's drop the highlights. And whites for a little bit of that punch. So I'll just be like looking at the shirt and then looking back there to see how bright those whites are. Okay, let's move on to maybe just a bit of dehaze there. That just adds in a little bit more contrast. So what I'm going to do is do the curves, and then I'll explain what I've done after the curves. Okay, so that's the curves done, and as you can see, this one is controlling our fade. So we've got this really faded look in this image, both to the highlights and shadows. So if I just reset this curve, you can see that we've got those really dark blacks, really bright whites, and then if I just undo that, you can see how it just really softens everything up. And then it's just a normal S curve like that, and then in these curves, I just did another normal S curve. I knew to do an S curve like this just because I saw like extra colors in the blacks, like there's like a little bit of red there, so And it doesn't look like you could achieve that with split toning, because split toning, it's very hard to get a strong effect that only stays in the blacks. So like if I did some with split toning, it would like affect half the image, or just about that. But I'm gonna, I just ran with an S-curve like this, pretty much just matching up all the tones, nothing too special there. And then this one controlling the fade, giving that really, really flat look. And that's about all there is to it. I'll just drop the clarity a bit to get that softness. Let's up the vibrance, get a bit more of a vibrant pop to the image. And you can't get the faded look by just using the tools up here. You got to use the tone curve. Say if I just drop the contrast, it's just not this. You want dark blacks, you just want to fade to them. That's different from having no blacks. You want dark blacks that have a strong fade to them. But up here, like, you're just getting rid of the blacks. But keep them dark, so we've brought the blacks down quite a bit, and then just do a nice fade to them. And that's how you get that real nice faded look. Okay, let's move on. Let's do some split toning. So I just want to like add warmth and that into the image. So especially the highlights, I want to add like this purplish reddish tone. So I'm gonna just go there. And then I'm going to counter that with a blue in the shadows. So genuinely you want to do the opposite colors. So I'm going to grab a nice teal, because as you can see, we only put it in the highlights. So we only put the red in the highlights, but you can see it's pretty much affecting the entire image a lot. So what I'm going to do is put the opposite in the shadows, and you can see, like, if you look back there, you can see we've got some blues there, and at the moment it kind of just looks a bit red or orange. Let's add some blues in. I might add a few more reds into the image, so just shifting this a little bit across. Okay, let's move on. Let's come back up here. Let's just, what we need to do is like get rid of the vignetting. It's making our image look really dark. So if I just enable profile corrections, you can see that makes a huge difference by getting rid of that vignetting. Probably should have done that right from the start. So yeah, we'll do that now though. So makes a really big difference there. So let's keep going. Let's maybe do some HSL, and then we should be about done after the HSL. So I'll start with the skin tones. I think we look about right. Let's maybe start with saturation. We need to bring like these oranges up, especially for the background there. Those yellows, they can come up. Reds, so the reds can definitely come up as well. And then luminance. So we kind of look dark in this image, like the colors look quite rich in that. We sort of want to brighten them a bit. So I'm gonna lift up the luminance of the oranges, luminance of the reds, just a bit more shine to them. They're not as rich. Maybe aquas, not many in that image. Okay, looking good, looking good. Blues, got any blues? Got a bit in the shirt, and you can see there is quite a bit in her shirt still there. So I'll lift that up a bit. About there, let's drop the purples and the magentas. pretty much always do that because it's very hit and miss how purples and magentas will show up in the image. Like if you take a really cold photo, it can really, like, skin can have a lot of purple in it and stuff. So you just want to, I always drop it a little bit, those two, magenta and purple. If we just come back up here, so I think our shirt, it's holding a little bit of blue, and at the moment I think we look a little purple. I'm just gonna shift the blues to a little bit of a teal, not too far though. Aquas, just gonna do the same, not far. And right, let's do yellows. So when I'm looking at the yellows, I see this part here is really affecting the yellows. I think our lights and reds, so our oranges look pretty good. They look very similar to his ones. I think up here, he looks a little more green there. So I'm thinking yellows can maybe go towards green. Okay, sweet. Saturation. Okay, we're about done there. Let's do some brushes in that. Like, let's soften up this light of the photo. So what I'm going to do is grab a big circle here, and as you can see, it's affecting the middle. And what it's going to do is just soften that light and bring our subject off the background. So we just want to do things like just bring up the exposure for this one. Let's try just a little bit of exposure like that. You might want to feather it out more, but I think it's okay there. And then just another one that's over the face, and this one I'm just gonna up the shadows, just create softer light on the subject pretty much. And then sharpness might bring up, just because it is the main focal point. And okay, for the skin, let's just grab the brush. If I just click this, it'll show you where it's affecting. It's pretty much all the skin, and what I want to do is probably just add a bit of brightness to it. I think our colors look okay. Like, quite often I'll add in some warmth into the skin, but I think we're okay. We'll just go with that. Texture, because I want really smooth looking skin. Let's just drop that down. Clarity will also do that. But we don't want to go all the way down because you want to maintain some texture. And then sharpness can come up. And they do different things, clarity and sharpness. Like lowering the clarity will give a real nice glow and dreamy effect to the skin, where sharpness keep your edges sharp. Okay, I think we are just about done. A brush for the eyes here. So I actually forgot to reset this one here, so I'll just reset it now and then go back over it with you guys. I should have done this at the start. So if I just reset, I think if you hold Option and you hit reset here, it'll reset everything for you. So as you can see, our eyes aren't overly sharp. Let's up the exposure, let's brighten them. But now you can see, like, they don't have enough contrast, so I'm going to drop the blacks. And then I'll want the whites of the eyes to really show. The whites. Clarity, just for a bit of crispness to the shot. Bit of sharpening. and I think that is good. Don't need to do too much else. If I just press Option Reset, maybe you can see the before and after. Command Z to undo that. It's the before and after of our eyes there, just a little bit. And I think we're looking pretty good. Saturation of those greens, you can see the pants are way too saturated, so I'm just going to drop them, the pants there. And I'm pretty happy with that. I've got one more brush I'll do. So if I just uncheck, I should have reset this before I showed you guys this edit as well. I forgot to do it, so I'll just reset it now. So the only thing that's kinda annoying me about this edit is her hair looks kinda green or yellow, and we want a bit more of an orange to the hair. And I think we've matched up our yellows. So the yellows are affecting the hair the most. So if I just play around with this, but I think we have matched up our background yellows pretty well. And I don't want to go any further over to the green side, because then I'll be affecting the hair, and the hair I kind of want the hair to look a bit more orange. So I'm sort of stuck in two minds there of what to do. But if you just do a brush over the hair, this is maybe what he's done, but I doubt it. I'm not too sure. But if I just add in some like purples into the yellow, it should come off as more of like an orange, slightly. Just do it really slightly, or even some warmth. I might leave out the warmth. I think we look pretty good anyway. I'll just drop the saturation because it is holding a lot of saturation, and that will probably help us out a lot as well. Yeah, to make it not look so... Maybe don't even need that purple. I might just leave it in there. I think we look alright. Okay, yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Let's just, so you can tell we've got a lot of like reds down and purples in those shadows there, and that richness will be done with the curves here. So I just want to make that look a little better by playing around with maybe this one. So if I just pull out a little more green, I can see green just there. I can see it on the edge of that dark point there. I just want to pull that down a little to introduce more of those purples. You see how purple is the opposite of green? So if you pull out green, you'll get a purple. It's kind of like a red. So as you can see, we just look a little, we don't have those rich colors there. And I just think I need to pull this one down a little more, bringing in more red. So that means it's just bringing in more red and more blue, less green, and that's going to give us like this purpley look. And yeah, I might just leave that spot there. It might be a little too low. We might have a little too much red or purple there. But I think it looks alright. And yeah, that's how you use the curves. So like this spot here is affecting the dark black. So you can see how that just only affects the darkest of blacks there. And then these points probably affect this area, say that door there, so you can see how that affects more of the shadows. And then just nice gradual curve to get that flatness. And you just got to leave in quite a bit of contrast if you're going to do such a flat curve like this, because otherwise you'll just get a washed out image. So say if I didn't drop these blacks heaps, see what happens, how we just don't, we need a bit of darkness back there. But yeah, I'll just leave it there, guys. Before, after. Also, if you look at the histogram, you can see what the fade is doing. So if you just watch the Instagram, you can see how the whites are white way over here, the blacks are black way over here. I press Command Z, undo that. You can see we've brought it in heaps from the edges there, giving the flat look, and it's quite a matte look. You might think some people describe it as a matte look. Just a tiny bit of grain actually. And yeah, I'll just leave it there, guys. Hopefully you learnt something in this one. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you like that one. Hope you learned a little bit about creating the fade and the tone curves. I'm trying to talk a lot about the curves in these videos, because I think that's just the key. Once you understand the curves, it really levels up your editing. So trying to talk a lot about those in these videos. And yeah, you guys go check out his presets if you like his style. The link's down in the description. You can check out my own presets as well. You guys are loving those. And yeah, video Luts. So I don't post video stuff over here, just photo editing, but you guys will probably like my video editing. If you're interested in Luts and color grading, go over to maartenschrader.com. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a bit more traveling soon, and I'm going to be posting my own content up on Instagram. Got to do some tutorials with my own content as well, which would be really nice, because at the moment I've just been doing videos with other people's photos. So that's about it, guys. Comment down below who you guys want to see, so I can go reach out to them on Instagram, ask them to send a photo, and do a tutorial on them. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.